First glance.
Is the first glance part 6?
Yeah, part 6.
It's not a first glance anymore.
Sixth glance.
Sixth glance. This is not an Aventus, because had we known what this event was going to be, we'd be like, no,
Wouldn't have done it.
It's over. So we've reached the end.
Yeah, it's done now. Avengers Twilight number 6, published by Marvel, written by Chip Zdarsky, drawn by Daniel Acuna. Once again, the story. In the far future, Captain America and other superheroes are losing their way to time and a suppressive government, but when Steve finally has enough of living under the thumb of maniacs, he finds a way to push back. I've read that 6 times, and each time I get less and less enthused to say it because
you read what actually happened.
Yeah, these issues keep getting worse and worse.
Question to you. If I'm Red Skull and I have a Hulk as like my secret weapon, wouldn't I use that by like issue 2? Like,
yeah,
you know what?
I'd start there.
And like I can essentially blame that on Avengers because that's their problem. I just taken it over.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took them 6 books to get Hulk, and so Hulk's in this one, and he's breaking a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, but then he just gets like handled off page. It's just like
very easily he gets dummied off by Thor, and they go off to like another city to go finish their fight. Yeah. So way to waste Hulk.
Second page. It was like
way to waste.
Yeah. Unreal, man. Unreal.
Just wasted.
This nuke. Oh, here comes the nuke. It's Hulk. Okay. Thor, handle him. And then Thor handles him, and that's that.
All right. So here's my next plan. I'm Red Skull. I can drop bombs now. So I'm just going to drop a big bomb from anywhere. Now I have Miss Marvel who can grow big to drop a big bomb.
Yeah.
And I also have, what's his name? Jamie as like my capo, my lieutenant to like make sure this bomb happens. But Jamie's having a heart-to-heart with his dad all of a sudden.
Yes.
And we realize that he has a ring.
Oh, this is the best part of the whole. This is the best part. Yeah.
The Lord of the Ring that basically unites him and his family.
Yeah,
and
because deep within the ring, Janet jumps out.
What? But he had this ring for 6 issues, no?
And it's like, yeah, the ring was on, but and then
all he had to do was take off his glove to expose the ring to be like, I have love, and love will set my mom free.
Yeah, that's all he had. I don't know, man. Like they didn't foreshadow this ring at all.
No,
they didn't. It was just
totally unearned, and didn't foreshadow Janet that she could be alive at any sort of.
Well, okay, so they did say she was. To be fair, they did say a bunch of times she's not necessarily dead. She's missing.
So she's in a ring.
But she's just, yeah, she's just kicking in a ring, and then he just
decides to let her free when there's a giant bomb. So like she goes big to catch the bomb, and then again I feel like Miss Marvel is.
So hold on. This killed me because it's like James and Tony having a heart-to-heart, and then he like swings his arm around, whatever, and then Tony's like, "Oh, that's right, the ring."
Yeah,
and then he just summons Janet out of it.
You get a little flashback. They go like back, like, your son. Here's a ring.
I'm gonna hide in the ring. She jumps out of the ring. She grows big. She grabs the bomb.
There's always a falling bomb.
And then
that's her first line.
As soon as she grabs, so like nothing's gone. Like she's been watching all this happen from within there. She grabs the bomb, and as soon as she does, Red Skull's like, ah, and like takes her out. And that killed me because she's just like, he like blasts her in the side and she's immediately down. So like she just showed up, grabbed the bomb, and just fell over. Now she ends up being fine, but that whole sequence made me laugh.
But isn't that everyone that they brought in? Because like the Thor shows up, bang, goes down, he's fine. Miss Marvel shows up, bang, grows big, you're down. But okay, but she's fine. Immediately after the giant panel of Janet growing huge, they cut to Miss Marvel. I'm like, again, this girl got shortchanged. She really didn't have to join this team.
No, she's useless.
Steve's an asshole. It's like, I need you. It's like, not really. No. I don't need anybody, essentially. I only need a ring and Tony.
Yeah, because you have Thor and Janet who basically just do everything that
all of the heavy lifting
Miss Marvel would have done.
And anything ground level doesn't make sense, but sure, we have Bullseye, Luke Cage.
She does nothing. And Luke Cage, you remember Luke Cage? So last issue 5, Luke Cage, he finishes the issue. He's like, looks like it's up to me, and he gets all like, remember he gets all that
He gets his exosuit. Yeah.
skeleton. Yeah,
Yep. So he can move
he
fast.
doesn't even show up in this.
Nah. Well,
Like, he doesn't do anything. He's just
he
like
reprimands. What's his name? Daryl. What's his
Yes.
his number
Yeah,
2?
yeah.
Who gets mad that someone's picking on Miss Marvel, so he
Yeah.
gets like a little rage going, and he's like, "Wait, no, that's not how defenders do this." He's like, "You're right." Cut to him just working back onto like a computer, so he gets neutered in like 2 panels. What?
Yeah.
But was it needed?
No. This whole book is a bait and switch, and it pisses me off because it starts out so good. That's a bait and switch.
Yep.
Ms. Marvel comes. That's a bait and switch.
Yep.
You know, Luke Cage gets jacked up. That's a bait and switch. Like, it's like, okay, well,
Bullseye turning a Hawkeye. That's a bait and switch.
Yeah. The big HD thing that ended up being nothing.
And then the whole big twist of the book is Red Skull finally has Captain America in his crosshairs and like basically on his knees, and decides to profess his entire plan of like, doesn't matter what you do, Avengers, I have the entire world on my side, and they'll never believe anything that you'll say. They'll believe my lies as truth.
And
I control the media.
They're all stupid and stinky.
I control the insipid laws. I let your puppet president blood wash over my face because you don't need the president anymore. When you have me, a Fuhrer. And then Cap's like, haha. And basically there's like 10 cameras around Red Skull who just simulcast his whole, as if you wouldn't follow a dude with a giant red skull.
Yeah. You still miss the guy who painted his face red.
That's the highlight of this series. Of just him randomly like, I'm evil.
Paints his face red.
So he loses the crowd support, and then Jamie and Iron Man show up to like beat him up and take him into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man's like, Jamie, you don't have to go this far. I'll do it. And then like sacrifices himself.
Yeah, because
there's so much
that before. Yeah.
There's so much unearned. It's not even funny. I can't even enjoy like how nice the art is because the story is just ramblings of a madman who has just taken another Avengers comic and made everybody slightly older. But what's changed? What's changed?
Nothing. Like Tony dies, and nope, I don't care. Do you care?
Nope. Hulk dies.
Hulk dies. I'm more concerned about how just Thor just pumps him. I was like, Thor could do this whole time. Like,
yep. He just dummies him in the field. He's like, "Is Bruce? Are you in there?" He's like, "Yes. Help me, save me, kill me." He's like, "All right."
Takes him down into the bottom of the ocean and beats him until he drowns.
So we could have done that the whole time.
Okay.
You could have just waterboarded it.
Yeah.
And then, which is cool, Cap does the cool like, I'm gonna murder you with my shield, and slams the midsection of Red Skull. But it turns out I didn't get this memo either, that somehow Red Skull had attached his programming to Cap's pacemaker.
Yeah.
So if Red Skull dies, the Cap's heart will explode.
Something like that. Yeah. I'll be honest. Like at this point, I was kind of reading a little fast because like let's get this over with. No,
it didn't make sense because he hits him with a shield, and the team runs over, and he's like, "Wait, what's that sound? Is the skull dead? Or oh no, it's in my chest." And then he hunks over and he starts like frying up. I was like, "What's happening here?" So like he needs Janet to help save him as Jamie and Iron Man go to dispose of Red Skull. Like this happens in the first. Like this is the first half of the book.
Yeah,
it's just like basically this war's over. It didn't take much.
Didn't take much. So okay, I don't want to poo-poo all over this, even though it's bad.
It's kind of the worst one though.
Yeah, but Tony and Bruce in Valhalla was cool. I enjoyed that.
I was gonna say the prologue is the only kind of like
epilogue.
My mistake. Is the only like saving grace. It's not even a saving grace. It's just like,
yeah.
But it's comic book lore. It's like we didn't really kill them. So like you don't have the drastic, because you could have killed Tony, you could have killed Bruce, and you could have killed Steve, and it'd been like, all right, there's strong sacrifices for what this evil monster is. Technically, it wasn't. Thor's like, I'm gonna pull some strings because he talks to Loki, and he's like, I'm gonna get my boys into heaven.
Yeah. Basically, yes. Get my boy. I gotta make it to hell. Gotta make it to hell.
It doesn't make sense. And then like Janet like basically takes over the Avengers because she's walking with Steve, now retired, to be like, all right, man, like if we ever need you, we got you. It's like,
Yep.
fuck you, Janet. Like you could have been here this whole time. This would have been a totally more interesting book if Iron Man was evil because he got stolen by Jarvis and Ultron, and
Yeah.
Janet was left to pick up the pieces of like, yo, I had a son, but now he's gone to the dark side. I had a husband, and now he's gone to the dark side. Steve, I need you. It's like, yo, I'm old. He's like, I don't care. Like, we got to get the team back together because I don't know what I'm doing now. But she was in a ring for 5 issues.
Yeah.
And love saved the day.
And the ring just came out. They did not talk about that before,
No,
did they? Not even a little bit,
no.
right? Okay. I'm not crazy. Like that was just like, oh, the ring. There she is. Bam. And here she
So
comes.
like, is that bad writing, or you knew this entire
Yeah.
time? Like, this is how we're gonna pull out Janet. Like, if you're plotting this out, and Janet's supposed to be your final reveal, you gotta leave me better breadcrumbs than this. Or like it should have been one of the Avengers missions to be like, we gotta find Janet. She's still out there. She's the missing key to like getting back her son. None of that. It was like Steve being like, this guy's a Nazi. I don't care what the police and the media and the people say. I'm gonna expose him. And that's kind of what it started out as.
Yeah.
But then he's like, okay, I need Miss Marvel. Help me. I need this girl who could be Hawkeye now. Come here. Can we get Iron Man back? Sweet. Thor. Sure. And by that point, like you're all jammed up. Like you're not even fighting the same war anymore.
No, I don't know, man. If you go back, this will be an interesting listen because when I compile it all together, because the first like 2 issues they're like, this is dope.
Yep.
And you can just see our excitement start to drop the more they pile in Avengers and the more it like becomes less bleak. Because those first couple issues were the whole world against Steve. I thought
he was
dope. That was really cool.
He was a one-man wrecking crew, and he had to find these little outposts of people that weren't Avengers and weren't super powered and meta powered to help get him through.
And it felt helpless. And I was like, this is cool because there's like, how did you get out of this? I don't know how he gets out of this. And then it's just kind of like, oh yeah, well, we're just gonna hack some things and we're gonna do this, and you know,
especially with
Red Skull becomes an idiot because now he's, instead of all these years of just careful plotting, he just loses his head, and now he's trying.
Why is Red Skull the main? Like in a world like this, set up this way, Ultron and Jarvis should have been the big bads.
Yeah,
because they control everything, right? And that would have been like Steve being like, we got to go analog, no digital. So I need a bullseye. I need someone that uses bows and arrows. I need potentially a hammer, but like I can't use Tony anymore because his son and like the suits and all that stuff. But no, they're like, oh, we can use all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Ultron's gone. We deleted them. And Jarvis painted his face red. He's actually Red Skull. And Red Skull's like a Bond villain because he's just gonna announce his entire plans.
Yes, exactly.
And I could just put him on TV. So like everybody looks stupid, and Janet looks like a pussy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with pussy, but
no. But when you look like one, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna start describing different pussies that shoes look like, but no, we don't.
That's what you're gonna do.
And then that's where my head was going. I was like, this is funny. It's like, wait, no, it's not.
No,
I enjoy the look of a lot of pussies, so I'm not gonna put it out there. She looks like she's testicles in this. She's a big sack of tender meat that can only do one thing, but like didn't do that. Like she went to the end to splurge her luge, fine, but this could have been, for me, this could have been a Janet and Steve story. It probably would have.
That would have been cool.
It would have bookended better because it's them two saying goodbye to like Thor when he goes back to his thing, and for whatever reason we need to see Loki in this. Like why? Like there's so much fan service for a book that shouldn't have been fan service.
Yeah,
this should have been an espionage book of like, oh shit, like he's got to go find like an old Luke Cage who's like, I'm underground now, like I want to do the same shit. Or like,
I like
Matt Murdock or some shit. Like
we said last part too. We were talking about episode 5. We're like, oh, it's called Avengers Twilight. Why are the Avengers in it? Which kind of sounds dumb to say, but at the same time, it's like it was introduced as a Captain America book, so it can still be an Avengers book by basing the story around the lore of the Avengers,
sure,
right, and not actually having to rebuild the exact same team,
or actually making HD something credible.
Yes, yeah.
Because that got erased by issue 4. They're like, oh no, it wasn't real. And like we have Hulk, and we have like holograms. I was like, like what do you guys? What? So like technology got used, and then like immediately pulled away for convenience of we like the Man in the Shield. No, not a fan.
No, this was not good. I'm like, it's been a while since we've read something that started out with so much promise and then just ended flat. Like, I don't.
Hulk could have been in sooner. Thor could have been in later. Like Thor should have showed up for the final issue.
Or not at all. Like, I'm happy not having Thor in this because he's off world, right? I'm happy not having Hulk in this. I'm happy not having
I don't mind Hulk for like if you're gonna say there's this big
Nuke
cataclysmic destruction, like that's usually the guy. He's the weapon that happens to. And if you want to have that cheesy ending where Thor gets his boys into Valhalla, like he's a nice call at the end, right? But this could have been a skeleton crew. You're right. This could have just been Luke Cage, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Janet.
That's it. Seems like it would have been a lot more interesting with giving us less.
Or telling us about the ring.
More. Yeah, or letting us know about the ring, or actually diving into Age Day and building up to how it happened and having it be. It didn't even have to be about the villain. It could have been about how the Avengers basically destroyed themselves, right? Like,
and like the fallout of that. Like, if this was like about the second generation, like if more about Jamie, it'd be like I looked up to my family because they were heroes, and now they're not here. They left me, so I've dedicated myself to a world without heroes. Like that's an interesting arc that you could build for this guy, and then kind of keep bending around. Like he doesn't really hate heroes; he just misses his mother, and he never knew what happened to her. But then we have these weird things of like, well, Tony's head's alive, so let's go rescue Tony's head.
Yeah, he's just a head on a mechanical armor.
Yeah,
he's basically Jarvis. I don't know. This is not. I didn't like this. I'll be honest.
No. This is fun to poo-poo, but I will never reread this. Especially with the Janet one hurts the most.
Yeah,
because she was there the entire time.
Yeah,
she had full control of the entire situation.
I was like this. Like it wasn't like aha. I read that part. I was like,
what?
Oh boy. Yeah.
I thought it was Bullseye at one point because I just saw the mask and the kind of the cowl pop out, but I was like, Bullseye doesn't have powers and isn't giant. And they're like, that's Janet. Janet?
Yeah.
Van Dyne? So yeah, no. It's very sloppy, especially with how immersed the world that they build in the first two issues.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like technology was going to close in on the old school Steve Rogers, and the fact that he couldn't keep up with that was an amazing trope and story.
Yeah, I love that. No, he just kind of found some kids who could, and then
let Red Skull basically destroy all the technology that could have helped him take over the universe. Yeah. So this was a comic. There were 6,
and nobody cares.